Hey guys, welcome to the video today. Strap yourselves in, grab a coffee because this is going to be a comprehensive guide on how to sell on Amazon for a beginner step by step in 2019. So let's get ready, let's get into the computer and take a look at exactly how we do that. Well, a huge welcome to you to the step-by-step tutorial of how to sell on Amazon FBA for beginners in 2019. I'm hoping that this is going to be incredibly valuable to you, and this is going to be something that really does help you build a business that changes your life. So if you are a beginner on Amazon or you just recently started selling on Amazon, make sure you watch till the end of the video as I give a complete overview of how to be successful on this platform with this incredible business opportunity. This channel I created a while ago really to help people to find financial freedom. My mission with this channel is to inspire and equip people to free themselves from the grip that money places over time. I don't know about you, but I found myself in a point in life when money had a grip over my time. Money was the key factor in how I spent my time because I had to work so much time in order to find the money that I needed to be able to pay the bills and live. And I just really believe that that is not the best way to live for any person on this planet. That actually you shouldn't have to serve money, but that money should serve you. Money should be a tool that you have in order to make the world a better place and make a difference on this planet. So if you do want to learn how to build a business, businesses that help you get free from that grip that money places over our time, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you as part of the family as we go into 2019. There's going to be so much value and so much content coming your way. So make sure you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know as and when I'm releasing new videos. My aim is to do videos 3 times a week this year. So hopefully that will help you and will build your business as well. All right, a little bit about me, just so you know who I am, given this presentation, this tutorial. I'm not going to labor this point because you want the good stuff, right? You know, you don't want to just hear about my life history but just so you know, I know what I'm talking about, I suppose. When I was 11, I started my first business. I remember selling gel pens at school. I would buy a pack of 10 for £1 from the local shop and bring them into school and sell them to people that wanted to draw with gel pens because they were a big thing when I was at school. And then I would try other things like yo-yos and pogos and Tamagotchis and all this kind of stuff, you know, this illicit school trading that was going on. And I remember my hunger for business was really sparked at that time. So much so that I begged my mum to allow me to get a job when I was 12. I'm pretty sure this was illegal, but I was working in a hotel for £2.50 an hour, carrying bags around because I just wanted to be able to build up some income to live the best life I could. Then I eventually ended up getting other jobs in retail and different areas until I started my career as an estate agent at the age of 18 after graduating out of college. So I began this job as an estate agent. I began to really love it. I enjoyed it so much. I loved sales. I loved working with people. I loved property. You know, I loved the buzz of it. There's so much about it that I loved. Although something significant changed for me when I was 24 years old, and that was me and my wife, we had a son. Our son named Joshua was born, and you know, things for me then really began to shift. You know, I'd been working 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks in order to get where I was in my career. I was doing well. I was topping my area for sales. I was tipped for management, getting promotions, and things were going really, really well. But when we had our son, I soon realized around 6 months in to him being born, I suddenly realized this is not the life I want to live. I don't want to be that guy that is out at work just to pay the bills while my kids are at home growing up. I want to be able to live a life. Of course, I know I'm going to have to work. Of course, I know I'm not going to be around them 24/7, but I want to be able to have a bit more freedom to live life on my terms. So it was that really drove me back to trying a long list of different businesses in order to free up my time. The ultimate long-term goal for me, and still really is, was to build up a property portfolio that was truly passive. massive. So we bought a property and we managed to buy a second property in the meantime, and that was the beginnings of it, but it wasn't growing as quickly as I would like to do. So we tried every different business we ever could. I mean, if you name it, I've tried it as a business. You know, like as a kid, I tried starting a dog walking business, a car washing business, and then growing up, I've tried a courier business. I've tried a business selling things online, you know, whether it's eBay, drop shipping. You know, I've tried a business doing inventories where we go into property where people are moving in and out of and do reports of the condition. So many different types of businesses, everything in between. And more recently, a few years ago, began a t-shirt company where we designed, created and imported t-shirt designs from overseas and sold them on the Shopify platform to the UK, to America, around Europe. And that was really where our e-commerce journey began. We would utilize Shopify, eBay, and we really began to research marketing and how we were going to begin to sell these products on different platforms. And in doing that research, we discovered the absolute goldmine of an opportunity that the Amazon FBA platform was. And so we began the process of starting a business that would sell products on Amazon. And because I don't know about you, but previous to this, I had thought that any product selling on Amazon was sold by Amazon, not realizing that actually Amazon, over 50% of Amazon's revenue is actually generated by third-party sellers like you and I. And so we suddenly realized that this is a great opportunity, and we went all in on this opportunity. And we were blessed enough to be able to, you know, in our first year of business, do over 6 figures in turnover, and the business continues to grow from that point. And it's a really exciting journey that we've been on. Around 6 months ago, I was happily going along and running this business and thinking this is all good, and I just want to kind of keep doing this really and try some other businesses. And then I got really challenged to actually try then and help some other people do the same. I wasn't really interested in doing anything like this, like YouTube. Didn't want to be that YouTube guy. Didn't want to be, have that, any kind of publicity or anything like that. I wanted to kind of stay and do my business and help people maybe one-to-one, but maybe not do anything as public as this. But I really got challenged by someone that said, maybe the reason that you don't want to do it is the reason you should do it, because you actually can be a little bit different and, maybe offer some value that is different to maybe other people. And so it's my aim with this channel and with all I've learned to really help you and equip you to have the financial freedom that is more than possible. It's so attainable in 2019 and beyond. There are so many opportunities. And so I'm really dedicating this next season of my life, as well as to really grow those businesses and keep them running smoothly, is to actually help other people, as many other people as possible, do the same. So that's what's got us here today. Now let's get into the tutorial. A couple of housekeeping bits before we jump into it. Firstly, a disclaimer. Today, I'm going to be talking through systems and strategies employed by many people generating 6- and 7-figure revenues using this exact business model. Now, these results are not typical. The average person who attends or watches any training gets 0 results. However, I'm going to be showing you what has worked for me and many others for free today. This is not, please understand me, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not an opportunity for lazy people to quit their job. This is a work hard and reap the rewards scheme. The opportunity, I promise you, is incredible, remains to be an incredible opportunity, but the only route to change is taking action. I can't take action for you. I can teach you what I know, but I can't take action for you. The only action that can be taken is on you. All right. My gift to you today, in order to help you on this journey, is I want to give every person watching this a free copy of the Amazon FBA Startup Bundle. This is something that I've compiled. I wrote recently an ebook that is a guide of how to get started on Amazon that will really cover a lot of the topic we talk about today, but will be in written format for you if that helps you on your learning journey in an ebook form. And also in the FBA Startup Bundle, I've got in there a supplier contact template to help you contact suppliers that we'll talk about later on in the video, a sample purchase contract, again, something we'll talk about later in the video. All of these things we'll talk about later on in the video, but they usually retail at a value of £47. But today I want to give it to you for free. All you need to do is check it out in the description below. Just my thank you for watching and engaging with this video. So the link to download those is in the description below. Check that out, and that will help you on your journey of getting started. Also, we're going to have a competition. Yay, competition time. All you need to do to enter the competition is comment below. Maybe you've got a question, or you want to give some feedback on the video, add something that I've missed maybe, or give me some lessons you've learned, anything really, but comment on the video below. And then what I'm going to do is every time we get to 100 comments on the video is I'm going to do a draw using a random comment picker. So it is random, it is verified, and I'm going to do a draw, and then one out of those 100 people is going to receive a 30-minute coaching call with myself, where we can talk over Skype or over Zoom and really just talk about your business, how I can help you, some challenges you may be facing, maybe talk about potential product ideas, anything like that. And so you can do that for free. And then also another person in those 100 people, in those 100 comments, is going to receive a Helium 10 Platinum package for their first month for free. You'll see what that is later on in the video, but it's a super, super powerful tool that will really help you in your business. And so I'm going to give away, for every 100 comments, I'm going to give away one of those for free. So that's the competition. Make sure you do drop a comment below and let me know what you think of the video. Cool. All right, let's get into it. All right, this is where we're going today, a little bit of a roadmap for the tutorial. We're going to look at 7 sections. Each of them is, super, super important. We're going to look at Amazon FBA explained. What is Amazon FBA? We're going to look at profitable product opportunities. We're going to look at how to find the best manufacturers, how to ship products without the stress, and then we're going to look at how we create listings on the Amazon platform that convert like crazy, how to make optimum, super good, really high quality professional listings. Then we're going to look at marketing your products. How do you actually get your products seen by millions of customers? And then we're going to look, finally, the last chapter, the last section, at taking things further. How do you now then take action and get this business going? Firstly, we're going to look, section 1, Amazon FBA explained. And I want to talk about this system because it really, truly has revolutionized retail. If you've been under a rock, if you don't know, if you haven't looked at the news for the last 20 years or something like that, let me explain to you who Amazon are. They were founded in 1994 by a guy named Jeff Bezos, and he is now I think it's just become the richest man on the planet. It's kind of fluctuating at the moment based on Amazon's stock price. They expanded to the UK from the US in 1998. Now, Amazon is the 5th largest retailer in the UK alone. Not web retailer, not online retailer, largest retailer as a whole. I think like Tesco are above them, maybe a few others, and then Amazon are number 5 on that list without any physical stores. It's unbelievable growth that they've seen. Over 100 million Prime members worldwide who pay, in the UK it's £79 a year, the US I think $99 a year just to have Prime membership with Amazon, and that's over 100 million people, hundreds of millions of people who have their credit cards stored on Amazon that can buy products in just one purchase, super, super quick, super easy, and it's the second most, and again, day by day it's fluctuating. I actually saw a tweet this afternoon that said that Amazon is the most valuable company in the world. So maybe, again, that's changed just in recent days, but they are, tussling with like Apple and Microsoft and Alphabet, who own Google, to be like the number 1 company on the planet. And as you see from this chart here, you can see that the growth of Amazon's revenue is not slowing down. Some people might say the bubble's going to burst, but for 20 years now, Amazon have just been keeping on going up and to the right. They have been going successful. They have been, expanding aggressively all over the world. And now they continue to expand into new marketplaces. Australia opened recently. Turkey is kind of in the process of opening. They're looking at opening in places like Israel, and, just crazy amounts of expansion happening right now, which means that the Amazon opportunity is only getting better. It's an incredible opportunity. 13 marketplaces that they are in and growing at an incredible pace. And so what Amazon did by creating this platform is they changed the retail game. They created something called Amazon FBA. FBA standing for Fulfilled by Amazon. And I want to show you quickly how Amazon FBA solves 3 huge business challenges that usual business operators can face. This is the process how Amazon FBA works. Is what we do as people that sell on Amazon. We send products, we get products manufactured, and then we send them directly to Amazon rather than sending them to a warehouse or to our own house or to our garage. My wife is especially happy for this, that they don't come here. They get sent to Amazon, and Amazon actually acts as your warehouse and stores your products. When customers come to Amazon and purchase these products, Amazon then picks and packs these products, and Amazon ships these products to the customers. Amazing, right? It's an amazing process. It's an amazing platform, and here's the reason that it solves some problems for us. The first problem that it solves, that many businesses face, is the problem of staffing. See, without Amazon, you do everything. You pick and pack, you receive the goods, you look after the goods, you receive orders, and you process orders, and you ship things out, and you pack things up, and you do everything yourself. Whereas with Amazon, you do the important things. And this is what has changed the game for us, is because Amazon have many thousands of staff working on our behalf. Of course, they do charge a fee, which we will look at a bit later on, but they charge relatively small fees for the work that they actually do for you. They do 90% of the work for your business and actually charge a fraction of the percentage, and really it creates opportunities for us as business owners to scale businesses incredibly fast to the 6- and 7-figure revenue level, just literally from home. The second problem that it solves for an everyday standard business is the problem of space. You see, before Amazon FBA, you had to have offices, you had to have warehousing, you had to have telephone lines, packing equipment, printers. The list goes on of all the things that you would need in order to sell physical products at a rate that you can sell them on Amazon. Whereas after Amazon FBA was brought in, all you need is a laptop. Literally, you can run this business from anywhere in the world. I don't know about you, but I love the idea of a business that is flexible, that when I'm at home, I can run it from a laptop. If I get bored of the sites around me on my home office desk, I can head to a coffee shop, grab a nice long black and just drink some coffee and work on my business. If I want to travel when my kids are on holiday from school, we can go skiing and I can keep running my business from the chalet. We can go to the beach and I can keep running my business from there. It's a business that gives you so much flexibility because of the Amazon FBA system. This is truly the easiest way to start a 6- and 7-figure business from home or anywhere in the world. And the third problem that Amazon is incredible at alleviating for businesses is bringing us customers. The biggest challenge that any business faces is attracting customers. But just look at how Amazon fixes this problem for us. You see this here, this is a stat from SimilarWeb. 2.84 billion visits in the month of November 2018 to Amazon.com. That's just .com. The stats weren't there for .co.uk or any of the other sites. This is just .com. Nearly 3 billion visits in a month. That is absolutely insane. Another example here, I pulled up the data for you from a piece of software that I have that shows you search volume for specific search terms. You see this here, what it shows you here is the exact phrase search volume, and then this number here, 2.2 million people every single month. This is monthly statistics. Every single month are searching this exact phrase. Insane. 2.2 million people are searching for Bluetooth headphones on Amazon.com every single month. That's insane. I pulled the UK figures as well, just to give you an idea that the volume is less, but we'll talk about why that's a good thing later on. Wireless headphones in the UK on Amazon.co.uk, 200,000 people a month are searching for it. Facebook are approaching $50 billion in annual advertising revenue, and that just proves this point that many people are searching for customers. They're paying Facebook $50 billion a year just to try and attract customers. But with Amazon, we have millions and millions and millions of customers coming to us. All we need to do is make sure that people can find our products on Amazon. And with that is just an amazing recipe for success. So there's how Amazon really do solve some of the problems, the three really main problems that physical products businesses have. And the amazing thing about this is Amazon need you. I promise you, Amazon right now, they need you to join their platform. A lot of people saying, maybe this was an opportunity that's come and gone a few years ago, and that people that are in now have got such a hold on the space that it's hard to get in. And whilst, yes, it is harder than it used to be, the opportunity is not going away. You see, Amazon are dependent on third-party sellers like you and I joining their platform. As you'll see from this statistic here, that the percentage of paid units sold by third-party sellers on Amazon is over now consistently quarter on quarter over 50%. The system depends on third-party sellers like me and you, hopefully, and over 50%, like I say, of sales on Amazon are via a third-party business. The reality is that Amazon need more sellers to continue their growth. I've seen Amazon's profit percentages, their profit margins in their annual reports. They don't have a big enough profit margin in their operation to keep funding their own inventory. They need you to bring inventory to their platform to sell. And as they grow into Australia, as they grow into Israel, as they grow into Turkey, as they grow throughout Europe, as they grow throughout the Americas, they need more sellers launching in more marketplaces to continue their growth. So trust me, this opportunity is not going away, but is only just beginning. The future of Amazon is an incredibly bright one. The USA is a mature market, yes, but UK and Europe, which I'm going to teach you more about how to launch on today, they are at day one. They are just getting started. The global expansion is continuing, providing incredible future opportunities. And I want you to have a look at this stat here, this infographic here. This was from a couple of years ago, a seller survey that was done that was asking about revenue. And this shows us how many sellers on Amazon are doing certain levels of revenue. What I want you to see is that nearly 2/3 of people are doing over $100,000 a year in annual revenue. Over 100 grand a year is achievable, is being achieved by nearly 2/3 of sellers on the platform. That just shows you what is possible on this platform. More on that later. All right, next we're going to talk about, really briefly, just about the different business models that you can employ when selling on Amazon. First business model you can employ is arbitrage. Arbitrage means to buy low and sell high. Simple. You can do retail arbitrage or you can do online arbitrage. Retail arbitrage is when you find good deals, discounts in store, physically in store. You buy low and then you send them into Amazon, sell them on Amazon for a higher price. Online arbitrage is where you would do the same principle but buying online cheaper and selling on Amazon for a higher price. There's loads of content about that on YouTube. You can, if that's something you're interested in, you can find out about that. I do teach a little bit about it, which I'll talk about later, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that now. You can also do drop shipping, which is when you sell something on Amazon and when someone buys it from you, you can buy it from a supplier and ship it directly to that consumer. The only problem with this is it does bypass the FBA model, which is something that we want to employ in order to create that freedom of time that we are after in this tutorial. You can also employ the business model of wholesale, which is where you buy brand name products and you bring them in and then send them into FBA as you as the owner of these products, selling these products, again buying low volume and then selling high individually. A viable and a good business option, but the business option that I want to talk about today is private labeling. And the reason we talk about private labeling, the reason I do private labeling and teach it is for a number of reasons, but the main couple of reasons are this. Number one, generally there are actually higher profit margins in private label than there are wholesale, and profit margin really does help cash flow, which is so much of what this business is all about. And then number two, when we are building a private label brand, what I love about it is you are building a saleable asset. You are building something that one day you will be able to sell. I've got personal friends in this business that have built brands from scratch and sold them for 6 and 7 figure amounts. And I know of people who have also sold these brands that they've started from scratch, built them on Amazon and sold them for an 8-figure exit. So this is a saleable asset that we're building when we build a private label brand. The thing you need to know though is that we're not looking to invent new opportunities. What we're doing on Amazon is we're not trying to invent products. What we're trying to do is find products that are already selling well and improve on them and sell them under our own brand. This is a little bit of what a private label might look like. For instance, if you're going to be selling a product in a bottle here, maybe it's a supplement or something similar like this, what you would actually do is find a manufacturer to manufacture the goods for you, and when they're creating the label, you would send them the design, the artwork with your branding on it, and you can actually have your brand created on this package. Honestly, this is so much easier than I ever imagined. The possibilities of what you can do in 2019 from your laptop are incredible. You can build a brand with your DNA, with your values, and you can cause that brand to go global with the techniques that I'm teaching you in this video today. In fact, many of the brands that you actually buy today would be private label brands. Supermarkets in the UK are a great example of private labeling. We saw recently in the news about how supermarkets have been selling products that contain, vegan products that contain meat and all this kind of thing, which has caused them a little bit of trouble. And you see, what would have happened then is that supermarket would have gone to their supplier and would have been very angry with them, because what that supplier would have been doing for them is producing those goods and creating packaging that has that supermarket's branding on it. You see, Tesco does not have many manufacturing warehouses. They don't manufacture most of their goods. What they do is they go to a manufacturer and they private label many of their goods. And this is the model that we're going to be talking about in this video today. You understand that the power of brand is incredible. You've probably seen an image like this before, but you can get a cup of coffee cheap from anywhere. But if you go to Starbucks, all of a sudden there's going to be a markup on it. Now, I would encourage you never ever to go to Starbucks because the coffee is just so dire. But if you do, you know you're going to be paying a premium because of the brand that Starbucks have created. You see, there's value in this brand. And what we want to do with private labeling is create a similar level of value in our brand. All right, a quick review of section 1. Where we talked about Amazon FBA being explained. We gave a system overview. We talked about the business challenges it alleviates, the importance of third-party sellers like you and I, the future of Amazon, and why we teach private labeling. Cool story, bro. Interesting, right? Amazing, great potential, incredible opportunity. But the question that should be on your lips and on your mind right now is, okay, so how do I get started? And so that is what we want to teach you today. We're going to look at section 2 now, which is finding profitable product opportunities. This is the foundation of a successful private label business. Choose the right products and you will be a success. Choose the wrong products and you will not be a success. So this is the moment to really tune in and get the most value out of this video. This is super, super important. First little note is to consider your budget. What budget you have available to you is really going to define how you search for products. Wherever possible, define your budget before you start, as this is going to influence your search criteria. If you have a low budget, and I would classify a low budget as something along the lines of £1,000 or less, what you're going to want to look at is products that have short lead times. I'll explain this in a bit. The products that are small and light, and products that are easy to air ship. The reason you're going to want to do this is because that is going to enable you to buy a lesser quantity of products to begin with. If you have a low budget, you're going to be a little bit restricted, but it's still possible. A lot of people say you can't do it, but on my channel, you'll be able to find a video that talks about how we recently launched a product for under £1,000 budget with no reviews on the UK marketplace, and at this moment in time, that product is actually making us over £1,000 profit every single month from that budget level that we're talking about here. So it is possible, it can be done, but what you need to look for are short lead times. So what that means is short production time and shipping time. They're small and light and easy to airship, means that you can get the whole turnaround of the process done very quickly, meaning you can order a lower quantity of goods and then you can reorder as that money starts to come back in from selling the products. And you don't have to wait for it for a long time to be on a boat or for a long time for it to be made, causing you lots of delays with finances. So that's why we recommend that. If you're on a low budget. If you've got a higher budget, then you can actually begin to look at higher priced items, meaning less competition. We'll look into all of the budgeting and profitability side of it in a moment, but that's just some guidelines to start with. So the minimum requirements, a lot of people always ask, oh, what's the minimum I need? And really that is variable depending on the product type you're going for, also the marketplace you're launching in. So what I like to say is, anything's possible. Don't let people tell you that something can't be done when it can be done. One of my favorite quotes ever is, I don't know who said it, but it's this, that don't tell me the sky's the limit when there's footprints on the moon. Don't let someone tell you that things aren't possible. I know for a fact you can launch products for under £1,000 and see success with them because I've done it recently, right? So don't let people tell you that you can't do things that are being done. But what I would say is to start the research process ASAP. This is a pro tip for you. If you don't quite have the budget level that you want to have, start the research process now whilst you're saving up, whilst you're getting your budget ready, so that when your budget is in place, bam, you got product idea after product idea ready to go. That means that you can get off to a quick start when others might be, hanging back because they've waited till they've got the money together to start doing the research. Put the research in now, learn the process, learn the methods, buy 10 items locally from somewhere, send it into Amazon if that's, something you want to do to learn the process, learn how to create a listing, learn how to do the basics whilst you're building that up. So when you have that budget, you are boom, ready to go. All right, that's a little pro tip for you. So once you've considered your budget and you've considered your approach, I want to teach you something that I call the product research funnel. Now, a whole load of people on the YouTube space and in courses, I took one, are really teaching the very basic levels of product research. They're teaching a couple of levels of this product research funnel that I've designed, but not many more. And so what we do with the funnel is actually we try to get as many ideas as we can in the top of this funnel, and then step by step filter out the ones that won't work for differing reasons. And then until we get to the end of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel, we find here the product opportunities that are going to work, that are going to hit the spot, that are going to hit the target. So let me take you through, step by step, each of these stages of the product research funnel, what they mean and how you can utilize them. Firstly, what you need to know is about demand. And I can promise you from my own experience, from the lessons that I've learned and the training that I've given, here are some of the results that we have seen. These are monthly results of revenue, not profit, revenue. Standard, profit margins that we're seeing is around 30%, give or take. And these are incredible figures. I'm sure you would agree that there is demand. There is so much demand on the Amazon platform. We just need to find the products where the demand is. I promise you there's a whole load of products that are on Amazon that aren't selling very well too, because Amazon is not just a throw a product in and get rich quick scheme. This is a system where we need to understand it. We need to do good research. We need to find out what do consumers want. And so what we're looking for when we look at this is healthy demand. When we look at this stage of the product research funnel, we want to find as many products as we can that have a healthy demand. And when I say healthy, I mean no trends, no fads, no fidget spinners that are popular for a month and then die out, no spikes. We don't want to just find products that sell well at Christmas or just sell well at Halloween. We don't want to just buy, things that sell just for a short amount of time. We want to, no shiny objects that, oh, this is the next big thing, and all of a sudden everyone gets involved, so then it just shrinks the the opportunity. We want to find good, healthy, consistent demand. Here's the thing I will say to you that differs from a lot of people that are teaching about Amazon FBA, that 99% of people when starting out should not start with a high demand product. So many people are looking for the golden goose that lays the egg. They're looking for the one opportunity that's going to change their life. And whilst those opportunities are out there, they are not what we want to aim to build a business around. What we're looking for is that sweet spot, because what you'll find with super high competition, high demand products is that everybody's going to want to sell those products, and so the competition is going to become fierce. And if you do happen to stumble upon a market that is underserved but is super high demand, what you're going to find is that within a short amount of time, there are going to be so many sellers flooding that market, wanting to sell in that market. And so what I encourage people to do is actually avoid the highest of demand products, the super high demand products out there, and find a sweet spot, which I recommend to be around 5 to 10 sales per day. A product selling 5 to 10 units per day, which in the Amazon space, right, is kind of like average. It's like a nice kind of medium, which is crazy, right? When I was running my own business, selling clothing and different things like that, if we could sell 5 a day, I was like through the roof, over the moon. This is amazing, but it's just kind of become the norm now on Amazon that we won't look to launch a product unless we can do 5 to 10 units a day, because we want it to be worth our time on the lower end, but we don't want to go so crazy on the high end that we're going to have so much competition as a beginner. That's my caveat, right? As a beginner, as you learn and grow and you build your budget and you've got the budget to throw at marketing and to buy big shipments of products, then that does change. But to begin with, my recommendation is to start in the sweet spot. And as an example, right, if you can find products that do sell between 5 and 10 a day, and what we want to be looking for is products that in an ideal world get us around about a £10 profit after all of our expenses. And if we can, over the first year to 2 years of our business, build up 3 of those products, which is doable. It's not easy, but it is doable. What we can actually find by doing that is that we can build a business that generates over 6 figures in profit. The simple math of this, right, is 3 times 10 times 10 is over £100,000 in profit every single year. I don't know about you, but I reckon £100,000 could change a lot of people's lives every single year. And so that's what we're aiming for, that sweet spot. We don't need to be selling crazy amounts every single day, but just the right amount that's going to work us in there, get us beginning, get us started in a healthy way. All right, let's look at the second stage now on the funnel. I'll show you how to find these two both in a moment, but firstly, coupled together is demand and competition, because they are so linked. The competition that we're going to find ourselves, that we're going to analyze, is the competition with regards to reviews, with regards to pricing, with regards to quality of product, and also with regards to quality of listing. And so what we need to find, once we've found these products that are high demand or the right amount of demand, sweet spot demand, what we actually want to do with this is then analyze the competition. So when we found these products, the next stage down in the funnel is to work out, are there products here that I can sell, that I can enter into as a newcomer to this market and get in the game here. And how we know this is by finding markets where they are not saturated with products with crazy amounts of high reviews, finding products where the price is doable for us coming in as a new seller, not ordering crazy container loads of products. That we can find products here that where there's a room to improve the quality of product, and also where the quality of the listing is at a standard where we can come in and compete there by improving on that too. So how we analyze and assess demand and competition, there are a number of ways in which we can do this that I'm going to teach you today. The first method is to use free tools, which are things like Google Keyword Planner, eBay Watch Count. You can look at the AliExpress sold figures. Go to aliexpress.com and search for a product, and then search by how many, sort by how many have been sold. Can show you some popular things there. You can also use the Jungle Scout Estimator, which if you go to Amazon and find the best sellers rank, which is in the description of each product. You'll see the bestseller rank. You can put that into the Jungle Scout estimator. Just Google Jungle Scout estimator and it will come up, and you can find out how many each day are selling of that product, which is an estimator, but it is pretty accurate in my experience. These are all free tools which you can go away and research. I won't spend loads of time on them now because of a solution I'll show you in a moment, but they are some tools that you can use to begin to get an idea of what may be good products to sell on Amazon. But having said that about free tools, what I would say is that paid tools are always going to be worth the investment if you get the right ones. What paid tools actually allow you to do is reduce significantly the amount of time it takes you to find good product opportunities. And what these paid tools do, that they are software that actually you can put in certain criteria and you can find and filter through different product opportunities. Now, what most people are teaching are the most popular are two software tools called Jungle Scout and Viral Launch, which I personally have used and do use, and they're great tools, don't get me wrong. You can find more information out about them in the description below. But what I'm going to recommend you today and show you today is actually a tool called Helium 10. And the reason for this is because whilst a lot of people are teaching, here's a link to get the Jungle Scout Chrome extension for $79 and the web app for $30 a month, or whatever the prices are. You can do everything that Jungle Scout and Viral Launch does with a Helium 10 account, and you can start with a free account, which will actually let you do a whole bunch. You can have a look here. Some of this will make sense right now, some of it won't. That's fine. You can come back to it in a moment. But just to show you that with the free plan on Helium 10, you can actually do so much. You've got all these different software tools down here on the side. These are all different tools that perform different functions in your Amazon business, and you can actually get a whole bunch of these on a free plan. For example, here is Black Box, which is Helium 10's product research tool. And again, you can get this for free in the free plan for a certain number of users. And what this allows you to do is to be able to put in some different factors that you want to be able to sort product opportunities by. You can choose your categories in here. You can determine how much revenue you want these products to be making. You can put, how much is low and how much is high. Maybe you want to aim for 5 to 10 sales a day. So you put your amount of sales in here, monthly sales units between 150 and 300. And you can play around with all the different criteria in here. This gives you the opportunity to look for areas of competition where there are poor listings. Maybe search for listings that only have 2 or 3 images when you can put up to 9 in them. So that might show you there. And lots of other things you can sort for here. And it really just does give you an opportunity to sort for products that are doing a good amount of volume, but also the competition is not too high. And then what you can do once you've found products that look like they meet this criteria, you can then also run the Helium 10 Chrome extension, which again is a free version of what you could use, what you could be paying Jungle Scout for. So you run this free Chrome extension on the search results of this product here, like I've done an example, Yoga Mat. Don't source this product because it's super saturated product, but you search for Yoga Mat, and then you run the Helium 10 Chrome extension, and as you can see, you can determine whether this is a good opportunity based on a whole number of things. Now, this may look confusing at first, but in time you will start to learn what these figures mean. The key ones you're going to be looking for initially are price. Is it a healthy price that you can sell at? For FBA, we want to be aiming at really £12-13 or more to be able to cover the different fees, which we'll talk about later. We can look at the amount of sales here. We want to see in this, when we run this, when you're doing your product research, you want to be looking for products where there's a healthy spread of demand. We want to be looking for products that there's at least 150 to 200 sales a month of a product, and that there are many products on the first page doing this kind of number. If it's just one product doing about 2,000 units a month and everyone else is doing about 20 units a month, then you know that that one person is dominating that niche and it's going to be very hard to enter. But whereas if the sales are really well spread out, it could be a very good opportunity. And then we want to look at reviews, which didn't quite make the screenshot here, but the amount of reviews that each different product has. What we want to be looking for is on the first page of search results. The first page is all we want to really care about, because that's where 99.99% of people buy from. So we want to see on the first page that there are a low enough level of reviews in order to help us to be able to get some initial sales when we start. We're going to start with less reviews than some people, some products. So we just need to know there's an opportunity for us to enter into this marketplace and compete. And then there's also some other things like review rating. If the review rating is very poor on a whole range of products, it's a great opportunity for us to come in and offer a better solution. And so I would encourage you to pick up the Helium 10 tool. You can find the description in the link in the description below, and you can start a free account with Helium 10 and get started free of charge, no money down. You can get to grips with this whole system. So check it out below and begin your product research journey. All right, now what most people do is they stop here. They look at demand and then look at competition. And if they can find a product that's doing good sales but doesn't have too much competition, they stop here. Now I would encourage you, don't do that, but continue down the funnel into differentiation, profitability, and onwards we go. The third category that we look at in the product research funnel is differentiation. There might be high demand and low competition, but if every product is the same, why would yours sell? The question that you always have to ask is there room to improve on what is on offer, and why should a customer buy my product over my competition? Some ideas for differentiation for you to give you an idea of what that means. It's some basic improvements. What you can do is you can study the reviews of a product on the Helium 10 Chrome extension. You can get a tool that is actually the review downloader, not the AC and grabber. That's a typo mistake. You can actually get a review downloader on the Helium 10 Chrome extension, where you can literally download every single review that a product has, and you can then sort it by common words, and you can look into those reviews, sort them by 1-star reviews, 2-star reviews, etc. And you can begin to look at those reviews in a linear process and discover what are the flaws that people are finding with this product, and then work with your supplier to improve on those flaws, eradicate those flaws even, and then you're on to a winner. You can do some gift ready or premium packaging. You can do some bundling. So if you are selling a yoga mat, maybe you might want to sell a yoga towel with it. If you are selling Bluetooth headphones, you might want to sell a carry case with it. Bundle and create a bundle opportunity that differentiates from your competitors. You could offer an ebook or a guide with your product. You could offer extra support. You could offer guarantees. You can do all these kind of things to really differentiate your product. So what you want to be doing once you've discovered demand and low levels of competition, you want to look at, can I do these things or other things that you've come up with to differentiate my product? If everyone's already doing all of this stuff and they've all got 5-star products and they've all got amazing packaging, they're bundling, they've got ebooks, all this kind of stuff, then that's probably a niche that you should avoid. But once you have found a product that you can differentiate and improve upon, the next stage down the funnel is profitability. And this is where we're going to drill deep. I'm not going to spend loads and loads of time in this because I don't want this to be like a 5-hour tutorial, but I'm going to give you an example from a product that we have recently sourced and started selling at a sale price of £20. I'm going to give you the exact figures that we have utilized just to show you a real example. You can start with less than this. Don't get freaked out and think this has to be the starting budget. It's a good starting budget, but you can absolutely start with less. And what you'll find with this table is actually the profitability calculations that we do in here. You can find in the profitability calculator in the free startup bundle. The link is in the description below for that. So I'm going to go through this with you line by line to give you an idea of what things you need to calculate. We're going to look at, firstly, the landed cost of your goods, of your product. When you find a product where there is demand, low competition, you can differentiate, you want to work out how much is this baby going to cost me. So the first thing you want to do is you want to be ordering samples for your product from different suppliers. We'll talk about suppliers in a moment, how we can actually go about finding these, but you're going to want to order some samples, and that's going to cost you in the region of £100 to get those shipped by air to you. Notice the asterisk on some of these aspects. These are aspects that only are going to count against your first order. So your first order, your first shipment of products, once you go into reordering and continuing to sell that product, you aren't going to have to pay pay these anymore, which makes future orders more profitable. So sample is one of those. The next is your actual unit cost. Now for this product, we put down £1,750 for a 500 unit order, which works out at a £3.50 per unit cost. Packaging design, again, you'll pay this once, is getting a designer to design this for you. You could get it for less. It may not look very good. You could get it for more, but probably not necessary for your first product. £100 is around about a reasonable price to pay for packaging design. You're going to want to get an inspection, which I'll talk about later, on those products to check that the quality of them is good, which will cost you around about £100 on each order. You're going to want to get some photos done of your product, some high quality, high res HD photos, again around about £100, but only needed once. Your shipping, we paid £500 shipping on this order. Again, that will vary depending on your product size, whether you go air or sea. Talk about that shortly, stick around for that. And then also your duties, which you can look at if you're importing to the UK, which is what I mostly teach. You can actually find out what duties you're going to need to pay on your product by going to the web address shown there. And then also your VAT, which is 20% of your imported goods. Your duties the percentage will be applicable on your unit cost and your shipping. Your VAT is actually 20% of the total value of your unit cost, your shipping, and your duties. Thank you, UK government. So those are the realities of business, but those are what you'll need to pay before you're VAT registered. One day when you're VAT registered, you won't have to pay import VAT, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. So those are your landed costs, your cost of goods, and then we're going to look at some fees, which what you want to do is you want to go to Google and you want to find Amazon profitability calculator, and Amazon actually themselves will give you a calculator where you can put in the address of a product that's similar to yours, or you can look up by the dimensions and the weight of the product, and you can find out how much it's going to cost you to sell a product. A standing set price for selling a product known as a referral fee is 15%. What a lot of people don't teach and what a lot of people don't realize is actually on all of these Amazon fees, you do need to pay VAT. So make sure you factor that into your calculations. That is factored into the spreadsheet in the description below. Your referral fee will be 15% plus VAT. Your fulfillment fee will be a variable fee, which is what you need to go to the profitability calculator on the Amazon Seller Central website to determine. Key in the weight and the size of your product so that you can know how much the fulfillment fee is going to be charged each time for Amazon to pick, pack, and send your product. But remember, right, they're charging you maybe £2.60 for a decent sized product, less for a smaller product, but they are doing 90% of the work. So whilst there is a fee to pay, like, man, this creates so many opportunities for us. Next up is a storage fee, which is minimal, but it is worth noting down that you do need to pay a storage fee for those products stored in Amazon. Again, on the website, it does give you how to the calculations of that, but on average, you're likely to be paying pennies per month on a product for storage in Amazon. And if you're selling through them at a good rate, you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Anyway, and then this is an optional one, but a launch fee. You may want to use a launch service to create that initial launch for your product, which we'll talk about later on. But as an example there, £100 one-time only fee for that first order, and then your pay-per-click advertising and marketing. Again, talk about more later in the video, but just as a rough guide, what we would generally pay on this kind of order size, around about £500 over the whole order to market these products. And so what that gives us is a total expense of, on the first order, £13.90. A few variables in there which may go up and down, but mostly accurate, super accurate figures there. And then in the future, that's going to come down to £13.10 because of those things that we don't need to pay for next time. So what we have found with this product is that on our first order and then on our second order is £6.10, then £6.90 per product profit on every single unit. Now, of course, it's not quite the £10 profit per unit that we are hoping for, but still a very healthy product profit margin. And see, a lot of people get too fixated on this idea of £10 profit, but what we actually go and look at, it really more is a profit margin, and then even more importantly, a return on investment. Because profit margin and return on investment is what is going to help you to scale your business quicker, is to turn over your finances quicker and create a bigger and more healthy cash flow at a faster pace. So you can see from this product, we're doing a 30% profit margin on the first order, but once we'd eliminated those initial costs, we're actually doing 35% profit after PPC, after marketing, after expenses on this product, which is a return on investment of 52%, which is a technical ROI, right? This is after all of our expenses. Technically, that's the return on investment. But in reality, we've actually only had to put this money here into the product. These fees actually all happen after the sale and are taken out of the sale price. So we actually haven't invested them. So the actual return on investment is actually much higher than 52%. Now, that's why this business model is an incredible business model, because show me a business where you can get a return on investment as high as that with as regular predictability as this business offers you. I don't know of one. If I knew of one, I'd be involved in that too, because this is an incredible opportunity. So those are all of the costs that you need to consider and factor in when you're looking at the profitability of a product. I would suggest that you want to be looking for a product at least 30% profit margin or higher. Some people say 40%, but I don't know if that's particularly realistic after all your expenses. And myself personally, if there was an easy opportunity at 20% profit margins after all expenses, I think I'd still be interested in that too, because man, that's a lot. That's a bigger margin than a lot of companies do. That's a bigger profit than even Amazon them do themselves. Maybe you might not do the revenue levels of Amazon, but in terms of profit margin, those are pretty healthy. So that's what I would recommend you aiming towards, and that is how to calculate the profitability of a particular product. And one of the questions you may have is, how do I know some of these costs? So for instance, the unit cost, we'll talk about how to get that from a supplier in a moment, and we'll also talk about how to get a shipping quote in a moment too. All right, next up, the next thing you need to look at, if it meets all of those 4 criteria, is you want to look at scalability. Now, this isn't optional, but it is an advisable step. I want to, when I'm doing product research, I want to ask, are there potential related products, or is there demand within this niche in general in order to build a brand? You see, scalability and brand building are long-term mindsets. If you find a one-off opportunity of a product that is selling really well and it's an exciting opportunity and you want to jump into it, by all means jump into it. But what I'm suggesting to you is a more long-term way to think is this product opportunity something that I can launch a brand out of? Remember, we're talking about scalability and a saleable asset down the line. So we want to think long-term, because the reality is every subsequent product that you launch within an existing brand becomes easier than the last for reasons which will become more obvious later on. But things like building a customer base that you can then remarket your products to, building reputation in your industry that people come back to you for. Our repeat customer level within our business is continually growing because our brand is building every time we launch new products. People trust us, people love our products, and they come back to us, they recommend our products to their friends, and your brand, it just gets easier and easier to grow with every product you launch. So when you're looking at products, and you've come this far down the funnel, it's worth just looking into how wide can I go with this product line? Can I launch a related product in a few months' time? And on from there. I hope that makes sense. And then the final thing you want to do is you want to do some checks, some final checks for restrictions. You want to check that there are no patents that are going to stop you selling this product. You want to check that there aren't any trademarks on some, the way that you describe the product. And you also want to check with Amazon that this isn't a hazardous product that is not allowed to be sold or fulfilled by Amazon. There are certain criteria they have. It needs to be safe to be stored in their warehouse. So the best thing I would recommend is that when you do find a product, you got this far down the funnel, do a check, ask me, ask someone that knows what they're doing, or actually go and ask Amazon themselves. Say, can I sell this product on the platform? Do a final check like that. It really is worth taking the time to do that, to do your final checks. Avoid, just a little tip for you, avoid these products when starting, not necessarily forever, but just when starting. Trust me, to make your life easier. The amount of people that make this mistake, it's scary, including myself. In my first product, I sourced an electrical product and it caused me no end of issues. So avoid those, just because there's so many things that could go wrong. Avoid breakable, avoid things with lots of parts, avoid toys because of the certifications and the process you have to go through in order to be able to sell them. Those are some ideas ideas of products just to avoid on the first one, just until you know the process a bit more and have got a bit more experience. All right, so that is 2 sections down, and now we are going to look at section 3, which is all about finding the best manufacturers. In this section, you'll discover how to find that unit cost so you can do your profitability calculations. You'll discover how to be able to work with suppliers that you can trust. So let's get into it. So this is another fundamental step in the process of selling on Amazon successfully, finding the best suppliers. Now there's a whole load of places you can find suppliers. There's overseas, there's locally. The different product that you find that you want to sell will really determine where you go to look, but in the most part where we're going to be looking is overseas. The price of labor and the price of manufacturing is so cheap overseas, particularly in China, due to the mainstream level of manufacturing there, that most 95% of products that you would look at are going to be sourced in China. So for the sake of helping the most beginners, the most amount of people as possible, we're going to look at the best way to do that. You can use sites like Made in China, Global Sourcing, DHgate. These are all different sites that you can use, but by far and away the most popular site for sourcing products is, of course, you know it, is Alibaba. So what you want to do in order to find the best suppliers on an Alibaba, suppliers that you can trust and work with, is you want to go to alibaba.com and you want to search for the product that you are looking to source. Maybe you're looking at sourcing Bluetooth headphones. I would not advise it because of the insane amount of competition. But just as an example, and what you're going to want to do is you want to go to Alibaba, type this in, and then you hit right here in this box, you want to choose suppliers. Initially it will say products, but you want to choose suppliers. Otherwise, many companies will do is they'll have several different listings for the same product but one company, and when you go to contact them, the contact template that I'll show you in a moment, you're going to be sending them the same email like 5 times over, and it's going to be super orcs. So you want to go to suppliers, and that just lists it by supplier instead of by product, and then you want to search for the thing you're looking for. And then you want to sort by trade assurance. Trade assurance is the ability to be able to run the payment through Alibaba on a secure platform that is a guaranteed platform that I'll talk to you about in a moment. And then also sort by gold supplier. For some reason that Alibaba didn't have the option to click it when I just did this screenshot. They may be testing something or changing it, I don't know. But as it stands, gold suppliers are suppliers that do, how many times can I say suppliers in one moment? They are companies that do pay a fee, an annual fee to Alibaba to be gold suppliers. Now, they can obviously just pay this fee, and there are some small checks that they have to have done on them, but nothing too major. So it doesn't mean much, but what it does mean is that they're taking this seriously. They're not cheap. They actually mean business with this. The big thing we want to look for is trade assurance, because when we submit our order and pay through trade assurance, Alibaba does actually offer us some guarantees on the delivery of our goods. So we want to sort by these 2 aspects, and that will give us the most amount of confidence. And then following that, how we can then further verify and check we're working with the best suppliers is we want to ideally work with suppliers that have been around a long time. I would immediately be avoiding this supplier because they've only been in existence for a year, and what then we'd also be looking at is total revenue here. You can actually sort down the left by total revenue and a number of different other factors, and you want to go for a company that's doing not insanely high revenue, because you might not be able to do business with them because they would only work with super high level clients, but a decent amount of revenue and have been in existence for a decent amount of time. If they've been around for a long time, it means that they know what they're doing, they're trusted, that people have worked with them, they've done revenue on Alibaba, their transaction level is high, then you know that they are most likely, more than likely, a reputable company. There's never any guarantees with sourcing from China, but we do everything we can to mitigate as much risk as possible. So that's how we find the most reputable and the best possible suppliers to be able to look at sourcing our product through. And then we want to just basically make sure that this is the kind of product we're looking for in the images. And then for each of these suppliers, I would recommend at least 10, up to 20 if you can bear it. Probably not many more than that, because you know, if you send too many, you're going to get so many replies, and you're going to get bugged by Chinese suppliers until you get absolutely sick to the teeth of having to answer their questions. So I would recommend at least 10. up to 20. Contact these suppliers with a contact, with an email that looks something like this. And now again, this template is in the sample, is in the startup bundle in the description below that you can check out. Just check that out below, and you can have a copy that you can swipe and just sort of edit to your details. But what I would encourage you to do, some people say go quite short with this. And, they don't want too much information now when they get so many of these. But, I would always err on the side of professionalism over just being too quick and blasé, So I still do this, and try to be very professional about this. I try and find the balance between presenting my company as professional and not bending the truth and lying. A lot of people out there are teaching that you should write an email to say that you're, almost positioning yourself as someone different to the person that owns the company, and having to go back and forth and check with the boss and all this kind of stuff, which personally I don't really like to, base my business on, being untruthful. But there's a certain sense of, just painting your business to be as best as it possibly can be. And that's what we try to do with this contact template. We try and establish authority by talking, we try and establish authority by talking about our business and who we are and what we do. And we tell them we're planning to purchase X products and add it to our product line. Again, you're adding it to your line. You may not have a line yet, but you're still adding it to your line, if that makes sense. You don't say we already sell millions of dollars of these products a year and we want to sell more of them through you, because it's a complete fabrication, and all they need to do is really do a bit of research into you and realize that that's not true. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to start a business relationship on an untruth, so I try and be truthful where I can, but of course paint this picture. Look, we're adding it to our business, we want to grow as a business, and these kind of things. So we want to list out the specs that we want. And then what we like to do here is say that, we've been looking at different companies to supply this. We think you'd be a good fit, get back to us. Really, this line here lets them know, hey, you aren't the only supplier we're talking to. You aren't our only option. You're going to need to give us your best price. This is where we plant that seed of negotiation. And then in the final bit, this is where we continue with that seed of negotiation. It's a good tactic that I would recommend is in this contact, when we have it with them, is to ask them what is their product per unit cost based on the above specs. If we order both a low quantity and a high quantity, example 250 and 1,000, because what that is going to give us the ability to do is know what their best price might be. If they give us a quote of, hey, we'll give you this amount, $3 per unit at 250 and $2.30 at 1,000, now we know that their best price is something in the region of 230. Then we just have to work out with them, how do we actually get it to that price? Maybe we can, do 500 at that price and negotiate there, or something else that we can negotiate. But it gives us an idea of how much room to maneuver there is. And then just to go on to continue to allay any fears they may have, answer any questions, and sell your company with integrity. So there's a bit of a sample content. What I would encourage you to do is to edit that according to your specs and send it to a whole bunch of suppliers so that you can get back from them the price per unit and other information that you might need, such as lead time. Remember the production time that we talked about earlier based on your budget, such as the size of the product, so you can begin to work out some shipping quotes in a moment. And that is how to find a good supplier and begin the process of negotiating on price. Next step you want to do is, when you confirm your supplier, is when you actually pay them, you want to use a regulated payment method. When you found them and you agree on something, you want to be able to use either PayPal or an Alibaba trade assurance. That way, that if something doesn't go right, that you do have some comeback. And the second thing I would advise is to use a purchase contract. When I did this, nobody was teaching this. Nobody told me to do this, but I wish I had done this, is to use a purchase contract. It lets that supplier know that you are serious about your business. If a supplier doesn't want to sign a purchase contract with you, you have to ask yourself, why don't they want to? They're either not confident in their products, or they're scared of something that's going to get revealed, or something along those lines. On my channel, I actually did a video recently about shipping from Alibaba to Amazon FBA, and I talked in more detail about this, so you can check that out there. Final thing I would say on this is never pay upfront. Never pay 100% upfront for your goods. Standard payment terms when sourcing products in China are 30% upfront and 70% once your products have passed inspection. And so what that means is that once your products have finished being manufactured, your supplier will say, hey, your products are ready to be shipped. What you then want to do is organize an independent inspection company. If you do come to need one of those and don't know who to ask, let me know in the comments below and I will let you know. I'll give you some recommendations on those. And if then you want to arrange them to go and inspect the products and check them based on a whole load of industry standard regulations. And once that your products pass your inspection, and only once they pass the inspection, is when you should pay the 70%. This is another way that you can protect yourself and protect your investment. And you can actually source products with confidence, knowing that you're getting good quality, things have been done as you've asked them to be done, and they've been verified by someone who is independent. All right, so that is how to find a supplier, the basics of it. There's obviously a lot to it in that, but there's some, the basics, the overview, the foundations of how to do that well. Let's move on to the next section. All right, section 4 of 7. We're getting there, over halfway at this point. Shipping without the stress. Once you've set up your Amazon FBA business, once you've found a product that you want to sell, once you've had it manufactured, how do you now ship your product to the Amazon FBA without the stress that could so easily come, let's be honest, with shipping a product halfway around the world in a container, on a boat or on a plane? It's a confusing process at times, but doesn't have to be when you know what you're doing. First and foremost, we need to decide, are we going to send our products via air or via sea, which are the two most common options when shipping products from China to the UK or the USA. And so what we want to look at right now, I'm going to give you a comparison of the two methods, just so you know. I mean, most of it's obvious, but just real quickly so you can make a good decision on it. Firstly, the cost. Of course, it's going to be more to send products by air than it is by sea. And that is because obviously it takes less time by air and more time by sea. And the risk also, though, is less by air, but also more by sea. It's not crazy more. It's just, there is a slightly more of a risk that something could go wrong because of the more moving parts with shipping by sea and the longer process of it. And the work of shipping products by air is less. So what you pay for with shipping by air in extra finance, you actually save on with the other aspects. But what you can then do when you understand sea shipping and how to ship by sea is you can improve your profit margins so much. There is no successful large-scale FBA business, large-scale private label business that does the bulk of their shipping by air. It just wastes so much money. And so what you can do is obviously start your FBA journey shipping by air. Then as you learn the process, move over to shipping by sea and increase your profit margins. Obviously, for some products, you won't have a choice. If you source a product that is large or heavy, you're going to want to ship it by sea. But if you do have a light and small product, then you do have a great option before you. So either air or sea, and that's something that you can decide upon when you get some quotes, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. Next thing we want to decipher with our supplier is what are the shipping terms of your product. Once you've decided on this method, it's time to decide on terms. You will hear from your supplier a few different phrases that might initially look like jargon, but I'll explain them to you. They may quote you a figure for your product, either EXW, FOB, or DDP. Most commonly, it's EXW or FOB that a supplier would quote you on. And what they mean is EXW, X works, means that the supplier will literally make the goods for you, and then it is up to you to collect them or have them collected from their warehouse. FOB is slightly better because it means that the supplier will produce the goods and then they will arrange for them to be loaded on board the vessel, either the plane or the boat, in order to be shipped to you. And it's at that point then the responsibility exchanges from them to you. Whereas delivered duties paid paid actually is where the supplier is responsible for the product completely all the way into the Amazon warehouse. And so those are the different options available to you. Now, as a new seller, as someone that's a beginner in this business model, what is so often tempting, and I see happen so often, is that people use their supplier to actually ship their products for them, delivered, duties paid. And now what I recommend is please always use a freight forwarder. See, what most people want to do is they want the easiest route possible, so their supplier organizes everything for them. And little do they know, it is commonplace in China for suppliers to actually undervalue the goods when shipping them overseas so that they can save money on customs charges and taxes when exporting goods, only to put you and your business at risk. If you are discovered to be under declaring goods that you're importing into the country, your supplier won't face any repercussions in your nation of importing. You as a business will. And it happens so much. And the way to avoid that happening, the way to know that you can trust the person that's doing all this for you, is by using a freight forwarder. And as a beginner, it's something that I would highly recommend utilizing, because if some of this section hasn't made sense or is a little bit confusing, your freight forwarder will be your best friend in this process, because they can hold your hand along the journey. I'm also happy to help, but a freight forwarder is an expert in shipping. They will take you along every stage of the process and help you in it. Also, you'll be much less at risk because of what might happen because of underdeclaring the value of goods, and they will give you the guidance on how to make a success of your shipping process. If you do need some recommendations again on some freight forwarders, do let me know in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with some freight forwarders that I've used and trust, and are really great at what they do. So that is section 4, how to ship goods overseas. And number 1, you want to decide, am I going to do air shipping or sea shipping? Get a quote from your freight forwarder, give them the size and the weight of the cartons that you'll be shipping that you got from your supplier, and they will tell you the price for air shipping. They'll also tell you the price for sea shipping, and then you can make a decision upon that, and then decide, is it going to be EXW, FOB? Work with your freight forwarder to decide which is going to be the most cost-effective solution for you. And then you will be ready to ship your products, and then it's on to the next stage of building this business. All right, welcome to section 5, creating listings that convert. On Amazon, each product has its own listing, which you as a private label seller will create for your product, and this is where the skill really starts to show. Many people selling on Amazon are doing this bad, but when you learn how to do this good, it can revolutionize your business. So let me teach you how to create listings that convert. When creating Amazon listings, you have 2 main objectives. Number 1, the question, is it desirable? Do my customers want it? What's the customer intent? Are they looking at my product? Are they desiring my product? And number 2, is it discoverable? Which is all about the Amazon algorithm. When we build listings on Amazon, we want to have these 2 questions in our mind at all times. Is what I'm creating desirable, and is what I'm creating discoverable? Let's take a look at each of those one by one. Firstly, making it desirable. The first way we make a listing desirable is by creating really good photos. I'll show you some examples of good and bad listings in a moment, including photos. But with our photos, we want to make sure they are both informative and contextual. And what I mean by that is we want to show the customer what it's like to experience our product. We don't want to just show images of our product from every angle. No, we want to add information. We want to add infographics to these images to give as much information as we can. The majority of people now, especially with more people shopping on mobile than desktop, are shopping by image. They're looking at the images and they're making a decision on whether they want to buy your product based on your images. So it's important that they include information. You can include text, you can include graphics. on your images on Amazon. So make sure you utilize that. I'll show you some examples in a moment, but also make sure they are contextual. People want to see the product in use. If it's a drinks bottle, they want to see it in someone's hand. If it's a coffee mug, they want to see someone having a drink of coffee. If it's a tripod, they want to see it, you know, taking a photo. They want to see products in context. So don't just show it every product on a white background. Show some lifestyle images. Show your product being used and show it how it can improve someone's life. The next thing that makes your listing desirable is the copy, the listing content, the description, the title, the bullet points, the language that you use to describe your product. Now, this is basic sales 101, right? But what you want to do is that you want to highlight the benefits over the features. How too many people get stuck in highlighting the features of their product. They say this yoga mat is soft, it's slip resistant, it's you've got a carry handle, and you want to highlight the features. We love to highlight the features because we created them, but what the customer wants to know is actually, how is this going to benefit my life? For instance, if we're selling a water bottle that has an anti-drip feature, don't just say it's got an anti-drip feature. Tell them anti-drip feature, meaning you'll never face an annoying leak in your bag again. Paint the picture, reveal the pain point in the customer, and show how your product solves that pain point with your copy. Third thing of how you make it desirable is with your offer, not just the pricing, but your offer as a whole. Yes, the price, but your bundle and how attractive it looks and what you offer, the support you offer behind the product. That's how you, by highlighting that in your listing, you make it desirable. And then finally, reviews. This is how you make your product desirable, is by ideally, in an ideal world, having a 5-star review rating with many, many reviews. Obviously, this is something that takes time. You're not going to have initially, but it's something that will build with time. Let me give you some ideas of how to generate reviews for your product real quick. Number one is to source a good product. I can't tell you enough how important it is to source a high quality product. A high quality product is going to solve so many potential problems that you might face. Just having a high quality product will remove so much stress from your life in this business. So number one, source a good quality product and people will want to leave good reviews for it. Number two is a good email follow-up process. Use software like Feedback Whiz. There's a link in the description below for you to see more about that, which is an automated email follow-up process. And then you just want to email customers after they bought your product saying, hey, what did you think of the product? Would you be willing to leave an honest review? You also want to think about having an insert card within your product that actually tells your customer, hey, the reviews on Amazon are the lifeblood of our family business. So we would love it if you were able to leave a review for us on Amazon, something along those lines. And then also you can do a pre-launch promotion, which you do want to be careful with. And Amazon do have strict terms of service that says you cannot incentivize people for reviews. You cannot say to someone, I will give you this product for free if you leave me a positive review. But in saying that, there are many sellers who would actually ask people that they know to buy the product from their store, and just because they love them so much. And then if they choose to leave them a review, well, of course, that is up to them. I would obviously say be careful with that, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but it is something that some people do to help them with those initial reviews. All right, when it comes to making something desirable, making a listing desirable, let's look at some examples. Here's an example of a bad listing. Now, you might think, bad listing, Lego. The only reason people would buy this product off Amazon is because it's Lego. It's not because they've been sold the product by an attractive offer or an attractive listing. The only reason is because it's Lego. This title is terrible. These bullet points are terrible. The description below was terrible, but I couldn't fit it in the screenshot. These images are terrible. Literally, it's just photos of the product with no information. It is terrible. Whereas an example of a good listing is by a brand by the name of Anchor, who are a brand, if you're thinking about getting into selling on Amazon FBA, this is a brand you should study. These guys are a company that have grown to over $500 million in sales on Amazon, and they are a private label brand. They started just how like you and I are starting, and now they sell over $500 million on Amazon. Just an incredible company. And so you can learn a lot from their listings. They do great listings. You see here, this title, makes it sound way more attractive than that Lego listing. It's an ultra high capacity power bank with most powerful output. Technology. It talks all about the different devices you can use it for. Informative and really compelling. This image here is super high quality. It just looks attractive from the get-go. They've got informative, good sales copy. Not too fluffy and super detailed, but just gives you some features and some benefits all in these bullet points here. And then you'll see the images that they do also are just really high quality. They're not just basic images. They do a good power statement. They do informative language. They show the product being used from all angles. They sell you not just the features, but the benefits. They talk about what this device is going to change in your life. So there's an example of a good listing as opposed to a bad listing, and how you might to begin to make your product desirable on Amazon. But being desirable is only half of the challenge. The thing that you really need to do is become discoverable on Amazon. Remember how Amazon are getting billions of hits every single month? What we need to do is make our products discoverable so these people turn into customers of ours. And how we do this is by using keywords. Keywords, keywords, keywords. These are the absolute key, pun intended, to success when selling on Amazon. After sourcing your product, this is where the most amount of research should go, by answering these questions. Number one, how do my customers describe my product? What are the words they're using, the phrases they're using to describe my product? There may be some products that could only be described in one way, but there'll be some products that could be described in a multitude of ways. So we need to research, how do customers describe my product? And number two, what are my priority keywords based on A, relevancy, and B, volume? So what I mean by that is once we've discovered how our customers describe our products, we want to prioritize our keywords based on how relevant they are to our product. So some are going to be more relevant than others. So for instance, yoga mat, the keyword yoga mat is going to be very relevant, whereas accessories for yoga is going to be relevant, but not quite as relevant. So what we want to do is we want to find a list of keywords for our product and really list them by relevancy and then also by volume. The two go hand in hand. Some will say volume is more important, and well, yes, volume is absolutely key. We do want to be putting keywords in our listing that are relevant too. And so how we can actually ascertain relevancy and volume. Relevancy is obviously a matter of research and really getting to understand our customers, and B, volume is something that has been available. The Amazon landscape is changing right now, and the data that we have available to us constantly changes really. But as it stands at the moment, the Helium 10 software that I recommend, you can actually find search data for your Amazon products in that software. So again, check that out in the description below. And what you want to do is you want to take your product, the way you're describing your product, the main keyword for your product, and pump it in to that software or another software. Try some other tools as well. Put it into something that's going to tell you the volume of that keyword. You can use some other free tools such as the Google Keyword Planner tool, which is a free tool. It does give you an idea on the frequency of a term being used on the internet. It's not Amazon specific, but it could give you some ideas. I would always recommend Amazon specific tools because there are some differences and we don't want to leave keywords on the table without utilizing them. But there are some options for you. And then what you want to do is you want to build a listing, which means title, which means bullet points, and it means description that contain as many of these keywords as possible. You only need to use the keyword once in your listing for it to make your product discoverable on Amazon. But you want to make sure you use as many of them as you can while still creating engaging, nice sounding, free-flowing sales copy. So there's how you create a listing that converts. Make sure it's desirable using the points I showed you, and make sure it is discoverable using the points I showed you. Combine it into an Amazon listing and you will be ready to get your product on sale. All right, section 6. We are nearly there. 6 out of 7. We're so close. If you stuck with me this far, well done, you. And this is the section that can really make or break your business. So make sure you do stick around for this one because success on Amazon will rise or fall on keyword ranking. That is what this section is all about, marketing your products to ensure that you are ranking highly in the Amazon search results for your product. See, there's this joke in the Amazon seller space that goes like this: if you want to hide a dead body, where should you put it? In page 2 of the Amazon search results. But I know, a little bit of a dark joke, right? But the premise of the joke, of course, is that nobody's looking on page 2. Nobody goes there. Nobody's searching around in page 2, 3, particularly beyond that. Nobody's going past those pages. As you see from this heat map, which is like, it just shows where most people click, where the predominant amount of clicks happen on an Amazon page. The majority of clicks and therefore the majority of sales are happening on page 1, and more importantly at the top of page 1. So it's so important that we establish keyword ranking that is going to enable us to get into these positions. That's what it means to rank. It means to be high up in those search results. And how do we do that? Well, keyword ranking is all about sales velocity. Sales velocity is dependent on 2 things. Number 1, attracting clicks, and number 2, creating conversions. And I can already hear some of the questions. Well, how do I attract clicks or create conversions with a new product? It's kind of like the whole chicken before the egg argument, right? How can I get this egg laid if I don't have the chicken? How do I get the clicks that this prominence in this ranking gives me if I don't yet have this prominence in this ranking, right? And so how we overcome that is by conducting a product launch. So let me talk to you for a few moments, give you a basic overview of how to launch a product on Amazon successfully. We can utilize methods on Amazon, such as optimizing our listing, which we've talked about, and PPC, which is pay per click advertising, which is where you ask Amazon to show your product listing at the top of the search results by paying for a click. You don't pay to be there, you only pay when someone clicks on it. This is a super powerful method of getting exposure to your product from day one, and you only pay when someone clicks on it, which gives you a whole lot of great data because it shows you if your product is converting, is it desirable, and then it helps your product to become discoverable. So that's one way of launching a product on Amazon, is by launching a PPC campaign to advertise your product. You can also launch a product off of Amazon by using Facebook ads and influencers. So you can run Facebook ads that are targeted towards a certain demographic of people that will then drive traffic to your Amazon page. You can run discount codes for your product and then advertise those on Facebook and sell and generate sales velocity that way. And you can also do the same by using influencers. For instance, people that are, have got a large following on Instagram, for instance, is the main one, or Twitter or YouTube or other social platforms, but use Instagram as the main example. Maybe you're selling products in the fitness niche and you'd find someone that is doing fitness content on Instagram, and you say to them, hey, would you want to promote my product either for a fee or for a free product? And what you do is you give them the copy, you give them the images, you give them the link to people to go through to buy the discount code, whatever it may be. And that's how you can leverage those influencers to really drive a whole load of targeted customers to your listing again. And then finally, your other option for launching your product is to use a launch service such as Viral Launch. You can actually do a launch in the UK for $100, so about 75 to 80 pounds. And you can actually launch at this moment in time. That may change after this recording, but at this moment in time, you can launch a product for free in the European marketplaces. Of course, you do have to cover the cost of the inventory. You would, to do run a launch through Viral Launch, you would have to run your product at 70% discount or more, which sometimes people would freak out about and think that's absolutely giving products away and I'm going to lose money. But the whole idea with launching a product on Amazon is it's an initial investment to build up keyword ranking that then becomes like real estate. It's like, we own that land, and as long as we maintain those sales and keep in stock, then we can dominate that land and it becomes a free mode of traffic. Remember, What we want to do is get discoverable on Amazon, because billions of hits on Amazon every single month, they're coming Amazon's way, and we want to make sure that we are positioned to receive those eyeballs on our product listing. So if it costs us a bit of money up front with our first shipment of products to launch this product and get that visibility, then we will make it up on the back end. That is the premise of what we're looking at, and those are an overview. That is an overview of the different methods we can use. Now let's talk about how we actually construct a strategy for launching now, and the pros and cons of each of them. Firstly, the cost. Launching a product on Amazon methods, PPC and optimized listing, of course, your costs generally are going to be lower. When we launch a product off Amazon using Facebook ads and Instagram influencers, etc., usually our costs are going to be in the medium range. It will cost a little bit more as we begin to understand the platform and test elements of different things. And then if we use a launch service, generally that's going to be a higher cost for us, because again, we're going to be selling it at a discounted rate and we're going to have to pay for the launch service. The offset that we get in that, though, is on Amazon does tend to be slower than the other methods. On Amazon. Off Amazon, it can be slower. You might hit something real good, real quick, and it can become a bit quicker, but generally it kind of sits in the middle there and the speed range. And then a launch service is something that really does help you get that sales velocity really fast. You can say to that, for instance, viral launch, you can talk with their advisors and they will advise you how many units they think you should give away in order to reach page 1 for a certain search term. And then you can actually do that, bam, over 7 or 8 days, and instant visibility can be achieved with the launch service, which is what makes it super attractiveness. And then finally, the ease. It's on Amazon, it's around about a medium ease. It's relatively easy, but it does take a sort of a bit of a learning curve, whereas off Amazon, using Facebook ads, influencers, getting that set up, it is somewhat more of a learning curve, so it's not as easy as launching on Amazon. And then a launch service is super easy. You just let them do it. You sit back and watch those sales come in and your visibility spike. And so, there's a variable effectiveness with each of these different methods, and depending on your product, your budget, your circumstances, there's so many different variables to determine how you should launch a product, which is why I never recommend this is how you should launch it, but actually you should think from your perspective and your circumstances, which of these fits best, or should I use a combination of these evenly? If I was to give a launch recommendation to start off with, it would be this: is to start on Amazon, begin to test that your listing is optimized by running some PPC campaigns, and then what I would look to do is potentially supplement it with a launch service, and then learn off Amazon tactics such as Facebook advertising as soon as you possibly can. Now these are loose recommendations. Like I say, don't hold too tightly to this, because you're going to want to construct a launch strategy that is specific and unique to your situation. But that's a bit of a roadmap that you could take that is less risky, and it does give you a bit more time to learn and grow, whilst also getting that initial traction you do need to get those products off the ground and selling well on Amazon. All right, last couple of bits of this section, some ongoing optimization. Finally, what you want to do is you want to practice regular optimization of all of these different aspects on your listing in order to test the marketing and improve the marketing. Your images, your copy, your pricing, different areas of marketing, different promotions. You can run vouchers on Amazon. You can run, buy X amount, get X amount off, such as buy 3, get 10% off, and these kind of promotions on Amazon. You want to test everything you possibly can in order to be able to get the most honed and optimized listing you possibly have, because then what you can do is rinse and repeat. Once you've done that with one product, you've learned how to find a good product, how to find a good supplier, how to ship your product to Amazon, how to create a really good listing, how to launch that product on Amazon with some sales velocity and establish some keyword ranking. Once you've learned all that, the simplest way to grow your revenue is literally to rinse and repeat. Rather than trying to, grow that product to markets it hasn't already got to, or expecting it to sell more than there is demand for it, just take all of that energy and put it into another product and immediately grow your revenue in that way. Remember, 3 products, selling 10 units per day at £10 profit per unit is over £100,000 a year in profit. Look, this isn't easy, but it is within reach. And some people will say, well, Ben, even your own example earlier wasn't even £10 profit per unit. Sure, it was around £6 profit per unit. If it was even £5 profit per unit, even if it was half these numbers, all you need to do is find 3 products that you can sell at those numbers, and you'll be earning £50,000 a year in profit. £50,000 a year in profit. I don't know about you, but I know that £50,000 could make a whole lot of difference in most people's life. What would it mean for you? Would it mean that you have the ability to not work as much? Would it mean you could go on more holidays? Maybe spend more time with your kids, like was my motivation? There are so many possibilities when your revenue and your profit increases, and the opportunity is there for you today. Let me answer some questions that you may have had come up in this process right now. The first one is this: is it too late to start? Absolutely not. I would say that Amazon right now is at day one. It's at ground level for the UK. The US, yes, it is quite a mature market, and you do need to learn well, and you do need to, be willing to take some time to really, face maybe some competition, etc. on the US market. But the UK market, the competition levels are so much lower. Of course, the demand isn't as high either, but because the competition is so much lower, there are so many opportunities. As Amazon continues to grow in global marketplaces, also, the opportunity is only going to grow. I'm honestly so confident for my own business about the future of it. Previously, maybe 6 months ago, I considered is an exit strategy something I want to work towards, whereas now I've put off plans about exiting and selling this business for many years now, because I believe that the growth of Amazon FBA, the growth of this platform around the world, we're yet to see how incredibly high those growth levels can go. Number 2, how much time does it take? Well, really, it takes as much time as you're able to put into it. It certainly is a business model that you can start whilst doing a full-time job. It's a business that you can spend an hour or 2 on in an evening and do the research and do the tasks that you need to do, and do it at your own pace for sure. Now, in time, there will be some more time-intensive areas of it that when you're having a product produced, you may need to stay up a bit later to talk to a supplier. You may need to put some more work in to get different aspects of it done. But reality speaking, especially when you start out with one product, the workload is not at such a level that anybody working a full-time job won't be able to do it. How much money do I need? Again, that's kind of answered earlier on in the video, but that is variable depending on whether you source a product that you can ship quickly, and how expensive the product is that you're going to be shipping for. I would recommend aiming to start with at least £1,000 to make your life a bit easier. The more you have available, the better, to an extent. Sometimes too much money can actually make you too blasé and doesn't make you do the analysis you really should do. And so sometimes, too much, not having enough money is a blessing in disguise sometimes, because you find opportunities that others wouldn't, you analyze things in a way that others wouldn't, and it can help you. So I would recommend at least £1,000 if you can, but I'll talk in a moment about some ways that you can also raise that. Who does this work for? Honestly, the diversity of people that are doing this successfully is just quite incredible. I've got friends that are stay-at-home mums that do this. I've got friends that are super high-powered business people that do this. I've got people that that I know that wouldn't consider themselves business people, just wanted to earn a little bit of extra flexible income, that do this, and got people that are just so super smart that are absolutely killing it in this business. And so really this works for so many people because of the support that is available and the structure of the Amazon FBA system that makes it all so much more straightforward than it could be. Number 5, can I sell on Amazon if I'm under 18 years old? Technically no, because you need to have an Amazon account. You need to be 18 to have an Amazon account. But of course, what you could do is team up with a parent or guardian to open up the account with you, and you run it and operate it with their support. And finally, can you help me? Can I help you? Well, yes, of course. The whole goal of my YouTube channel and the content I'm creating is to do exactly that. So let's talk about how I can help you to the next level. Firstly, as mentioned earlier, my gift to you today is the Amazon FBA Startup Bundle. I really want to get this in your hands because it's going to give you a printed ebook version of all of this content. It's going to help you understand these principles, and it's also going to give you some other key resources to help you get started on the journey. So if you want that for free today, usually £47 for free today, just visit the link in the description below and you can download that right here, right now, and that will help you on the journey. But here's the thing, this will get you started, but I want to get you succeeding. So let's take things further in section 7, the final section, the juicy section. Stick around to the end because I've got some really key things for you in this section too. I want to ask you, are you inspired by this business model? I want to ask you, does this opportunity excite you? Would you love to be able to work from home or from anywhere in the world, from that matter, on your own terms? I want to ask you, what difference could a 6-figure business make in your life? Remember the figures we talked about before, £100,000 a year in profit, or even £50,000 a year in profit, even £20,000 a year in profit. It is so achievable, but what kind of difference could it make in your life? Could you go on an extra holiday a year? Could you maybe build the business to the point where you could leave the job that you don't enjoy behind and you could go full-time in this business? I know it's possible because I've done it myself. What difference could it make in your life? If you could find just one 10 by 10 product, remember that's 36K a year just for that one product, would it be worth all of the effort? Would it be worth investing time and energy in? Of course it is. And remember, all you have to do is to be in the top 2/3 of FBA sellers to do this. Remember, you don't have to be special. You don't have to be have loads of business experience. You don't have to consider yourself as someone that's super smart. You just need to be in the top 2/3 of people that sell on Amazon to make these kind of figures. And even if you are in the bottom third, you still could be making 70, 80, 90,000 a year. It's not unfeasible to think that this opportunity could truly change your life. I know that because it changed mine. Here are some of the results that I've seen, that some people that I've helped have seen. These are life-changing results, and these are results that could happen to you too if you do this the right way. The only problem with this is that inspiration will get you nowhere. I love this guy in the background, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's like Marmite. People either love him or hate him, but I love him because he really stirs people up to do something with their lives. And he famously said this recently: stop scrolling through your Instagram, stop scrolling through your feed right now and work. You've been inspired, now execute. See, the problem we have in 2019 is that we are an over-inspired generation, but we lack the ability to execute. Many people watching this video today will get inspired by the idea that they could start a business that could change their life, that they could one day run a business from home that produces 6-figure income for them. And they would get inspired by that and excited by that, but that inspiration alone will get you nowhere. Actually, by taking things further, what we need to do is to execute. We need to take action. And I want to give you an opportunity today to take some serious action that will set you up for the most incredible success. I love this quote. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." I love it, right? Because it's so countercultural. It's so anti how we so often think. If we were given 6 hours to cut down a tree and an axe, most of us would just go hammer and tongs with that axe, doing everything we could to chop down that tree as quick as we possibly could. But what I want to suggest to you is that this is the blunt axe approach. So many of us in life, in so many of our areas of our life, we take the blunt axe approach. We sleep for 5 or 6 hours a night because we think we can get more done with our time, not realizing that if we just rested more, the hours we do spend on work would be so much more productive. We don't have time for the gym to keep our body healthy, so actually we become less productive with the time that we do have. It correlates in so many areas of our lives. We try to live with a blunt axe, and the same is true when you're trying to launch an Amazon FBA business. That we got our resources before us, we've got our time before us, and we've got this tree of business that we want to chop down and overcome. And what we so often do is we go at it with a blunt axe. We try to save every penny in our budget for purchasing stock. We exchange large amounts of time doing endless online research. We have this false sense of pride in being self-taught. I know because I was one of them. We come unstuck so often with out-of-date or inaccurate information when we're looking into Amazon FBA. We're searching YouTube and we're finding videos. Some of them are in date, some of them are out of date, and we just really don't know which ones are accurate. We prolong the time scale of getting a product to market because we want to save that little bit of money in getting some teaching and some valuable input, and that time that we've wasted in getting that product to market, we've actually wasted so much more money than we actually spent in the beginning anyway. It's this fallacy that we can save money by doing everything on our own, not realizing that actually it's going to cause us at times to make costly mistakes. I know because I made several. How do I know so much about this blunt axe approach? It's because I tried this approach myself. I learned about the FBA model. I learned about what an incredible opportunity was, and I dove right in and I thought, I'm going to go for this. I'm not going to waste no money on a course. I'm not going to waste no money on coaching. I'm not going to waste any money on anything except products. I'm going to get my products. And the irony of that statement is I did waste money on products because I didn't do things right. The mistakes that I made in the beginning of my journey years ago, I would never have made if only I'd sharpened my axe. You see, the sharp axe approach is one where you invest in your development and your future. Is one where you turn inspiration into execution with step-by-step tuition and accountability with a qualified mentor, which, in case you haven't guessed it, hi guys, is me. You cut down your time investment significantly by being handed tested and proven methods in methodical order. You can learn from the mistakes of others and then actually avoid them for yourself, which again, ironically, saves you so much more finance than you ever would invest in some good training. You can have permanent access to the most up-to-date information and strategies from 6- and 7-figure sellers and have direct access to me for any questions at any stage. What I want to introduce you to and invite you to at the end of this tutorial is something that I call the Amazon Masters. This is a program that I've created with the goal. I avoided this for so long, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I decided, you know what, there's a room for some higher quality content at a more affordable price, and here I am to present it. High quality, reasonable price training, full package business training, not just how to find a product and how to create a listing, but how to build a real, genuine, long-term business on Amazon, and step-by-step to support to help you create a business that frees you from the grip that money places over time. The Amazon Masters is a program that I've created from the ground up. I've literally put hundreds of hours of work into making sure that this is the best possible content and training available on the market today. And I want to present it to you, some real brief overview of what it looks like. It's a super interactive platform. You can use it on all devices. It's an online course, online teaching program, and you can watch it at your own pace on your laptop, on your desktop, on your tablet, or your phone. And you can watch them on the go. You can take notes. You can ask comments within each module, within each video that we can interact through. And super interactive. And here's an overview of some of the content. I'm not going to read through all of these. You can do that if you want to pause the video and read through each of these ones. But just going to go through real briefly what is included when you enroll in the Amazon Masters. First off, we start with our introduction, setting the foundations. A skyscraper will only grow as tall as its foundations are deep, so we get the introduction right and set you up to succeed from day one. Module 2, we look at setting up on Amazon the right way, creating a healthy Amazon account, maintaining a healthy Amazon account. We talk about foreign currencies, we talk about global marketplaces, how to set up and where to set up in the right way. We look at module 3, identifying a niche, how to find markets with depth and longevity. Remember, we're thinking long term with this. We're not just trying to find a random product that's going to sell. We want to build a brand, a saleable asset. Module 4, we begin to look at product research, removing the guesswork, and really dive super deep into some of the aspects we've been talking about today. The product research funnel is something we go into way more depth in the Amazon Masters program, and how to ensure you always source with success. We talk about really creating great products, optimizing products, conducting thorough checks to ensure that you'll be able to sell your products over the long haul. I literally hold you hand by hand as you go through this product research phase and help you in order to decide what are going to be some successful products for you to sell. In module 5, we start talking about how to create a brand. How do we build a brand from the ground up? I've built a 6-figure brand, believing it's going to be a 7-figure exit one day. And I want to teach you how to do the same, how to design a brand, how to create that brand, how to create social media engagement, how to build momentum with your brand. And ultimately, the goal is to build a globally recognized brand. So in module 5, we talk about the principles behind that. Module 6 is all about sourcing products, sourcing simplified, how to optimize your product for shipping and save thousands doing that, how to be modules on how to be a master negotiator to get the very best possible prices for your products, but not just the best prices, but the best conditions in all of your agreements with your suppliers, constructing that purchase contract, essential elements that must be present on your product to ensure the smooth sale of your product and acceptance by Amazon of your products into the FBA warehouses, etc. Super in-depth model. This is one of the most in-depth models with the most amount of videos. I think there's nearly 20 videos in this module alone. Sourcing simplified. Module 7, we look at shipping and logistics, everything you need to know, super detailed breakdown of how to ship products, when to ship products, the different fees, the different charges, how to optimize, how to really create the best possible systems for this, and super in-depth look at shipping. Module 8, there's 16 of these guys, so we are rushing through them a little bit, but just to show you how literally in-depth this program is, it's just insane. That's why it took so long. Module 8, we take what we talked about today briefly with regards to building listings, and we go super deep on that. I'll show you how to show a walkthrough of actually setting a listing up, how to do listings for variations, which is complicated, and some people don't know how to. Some courses don't even include information on this, but this is one of the main parts of this tutorial as well. We talk about, in this module, we talk more methods in depth about how to get a constant flow of reviews, a few little hacks in there about how to increase your review levels, and really how to create long-lasting real estate on the Amazon platform. Module 9 is all about launching to page 1, a full review of launch strategies, really help you construct a personalized launch strategy for your product in your circumstances. We walk through all of the important data, how to analyze data, how to analyze different stats, how to ignore the wrong things, because people too often look at the wrong data and it just causes analysis paralysis, how to know what's the right information and to make decisions based on that data. We talk in module 10 about marketing your brand, a deep dive into PPC, tutorials about how to set up winning campaigns that can produce really profitable figures for you. We look at Facebook ad advertising, Instagram advertising, influencer advertising. We look at how to run lightning deals, brand registered advertising, loads of advanced tactics in there, really in-depth marketing. People will buy a marketing course to do just the content that's in this module alone that will help you market your product and market your brand. In module 11, I break down for you some really key business principles for running an FBA business when managing your finances. I teach you how to avoid poor financial management that could stunt the growth of your business. With a physical products business, it's really important you manage your finances in the right way because there are certain demands placed upon it. And we talk about when is the right and wrong time to pay yourself out of your profits, how to conduct your bookkeeping in the right way, stay compliant, and all of that other exciting information that's not really exciting, but it has to be done because it creates the exciting thing, which is profit. And then we look at an in-depth discussion around VAT and how it impacts your business. Module 12 is a super essential module in this program because it talks about troubleshooting. We talk about strategies for overcoming a variety of different challenges you may come across on your FBA journey: customer complaints, negative reviews, refunds, replacements, hijackers, infringement notices. You might not know what some of those are. It doesn't matter. In this module, I teach you how to deal with them the right way, and I'll also teach you how to get ungated in restricted categories. Module 13, we talk all about how to expand into Europe and other international marketplaces. We look at which ones are best to expand into based on your current circumstances and how you might go about expanding into them. And really importantly, we look at conducting customer research, keyword research, PPC, and all that kind of stuff in a foreign language. There's a whole load of resources, tips, tricks, methods that I use in order to make this super achievable from the get-go and massively increase your revenue. Module 14 is another one of the Beyond FBA modules that really does begin to take this beyond simply an FBA training program and actually teach you how to run a real, genuine business by selling products on Amazon. We talk systems and strategies and scaling and growth, cash flow, when to borrow money, when not to, how to write business plans, so on and so forth. This really will set you up to take you from a small-time business that sells a few products to a large-scale brand that retains incredible value. Module 15, almost there guys, is all about building a team. Again, as I've said, I want to resource you to live the life you dreamed of, which it includes freeing you up to spend your time how you desire. And building a team is the best way I know how of doing this. Amazon FBA business model is a model that really does enable us to build a business that we can build a team around and free our time up to do those things that we love. So we talk all about how we build a team when we want to be a flexible business without loads of offices and loads of staff in one place, how to outsource effectively, how to how to advertise for job postings, how to interview people, how to select the right people. All of those things which can seem so daunting when we begin, I break it down step by step for you, enabling you to, when you get to that stage, employ the best people and structure your business in the right way. This is a long-term program that will really help you build at every stage of the journey. And finally, module 16 is advanced tactics, a continually developing module that contains just bonus advanced tactics that will just add that extra 1% to your business that might not be relevant to any of the other categories or modules. So in summary guys, 16 modules of interactive video content, over 100 different videos, hours upon hours upon hours of my beautiful face and my monotonous voice, but it's good content, I promise you. It is it's helpful, it's interactive, it's step by step, it is linear, and I'm really believing that it's going to be super helpful to you. And I've got a goal to help as many people as possible create businesses on Amazon that's going to free them up to live the life they dreamed of. So I'm super excited about this program, but it doesn't just stop with the video content, with the modules and the teaching. What I also offer in this program is a whole lot more. Number one is dedicated personal support. You get access to me, which you may not think is that an attractive proposition, but what I can actually help you to do is make decisions on a day-to-day basis. If you're struggling with something, if you're not sure about something, you will get my personal email and you can reach out to me at any time, and I will always come back to you within 24 hours, Monday to Friday. I will give you up-to-date, real-time support and help you with any challenges you are going through, which is an incredibly valuable proposition in itself. The reality is we become like who we hang around, and I'm giving you in this program the opportunity to be around me, someone who has built a successful six-figure brand on Amazon, and I'm here to give you the tools to do the same yourself. What I also offer in this program is an entire templates pack, which are done for you templates that will give you all the templates you need in order to be able to start this business effectively and professionally. I also offer access to something I call the Vault, which is exclusive business building assets. In the Vault, there are powerful spreadsheets to manage the day-to-day running of your business, such as a cash flow spreadsheet, a stats database to help you track how your business is going, a shipment management spreadsheet that will give you all the information on there to track your shipments as and when they are progressed towards Amazon, and so much more. Then there's thorough checklists, there's documented processes, there's discounted service providers, so much in the Vault that will really give you a boost and a start into really launching this business well and launching it professionally. But the value doesn't stop there, because for a limited time only, I'm actually offering also 2 30-minute coaching calls with every student that enrolls in the Amazon Masters. That means that you get 2 30-minute coaching calls with me on Skype or on Zoom. You can do that at the start of the process, once you've sourced the product, once you've launched it, or at any stage, you'll be able to redeem those. That is a limited time offer though, only a certain amount of people that subscribe are going to be able to receive that. I'll be ending that soon, but once you have enrolled in the Masters, you can store those for whatever stage of the business you'd like, whether that's now, 6 months, or a year's time. They are yours to redeem at any time. And that can really help you, because it will give you the time to ask personal questions based on your circumstances that might be too lengthy to ask over email, or we can just knock some ideas around together, brainstorm a bit together, and really just get more practical on that. So that's on offer to everybody that enrolls for a limited time only. So in summary, you've got the interactive FBA modules, you've got the beyond FBA business building modules, the personal email support, the done for you templates pack, the exclusive access to the Vault, and the coaching calls available. Total value for this package is $3,950. Now, that's not just some figure I have plucked out of the air. This has been carefully thought out in terms of the value I can offer to my students. It's been thought out in terms of the value I can offer to your business, and the value and the time and energy and effort that I've put into learning these things, growing this business, documenting all of these things, and also the ongoing support I will offer you. Now, the value is $3,950, but that is not the price I'm charging for the Amazon Masters by any means. The thing though is I did have 2 options. My first option is I could give all of this information and resource away for rock bottom prices. The challenge with that though is I'm going to struggle to provide ongoing value, because if I give it away to as many people as possible for rock bottom prices, it's going to stretch me so thin that I can't actually offer you any value. But my other option was that I could actually charge a little bit more but offer you top level value. I could charge a little bit more. I'm not charging huge amounts for this course. In fact, it's very reasonable price in comparison to what else is available on the market. But I decided to charge a little bit more than I could in order to be able to provide for you top level value, because I'm going to be exchanging a lot of my time and energy for this. As I said, I already have. I put hundreds of hours into this product, and I want to be able to help you not just to start but to succeed. And so for an Amazon Masters enrollment that features all of those things, the full price of the enrollment is going to be £395. It's a $3,950 value, but just a tenth of the price you can enroll in this program. But what I'm doing it for a limited time only. I've allowed some beta testers into the course, some initial people that have started the course and are just enjoying it at the moment. And the next phase of the rollout for this program, I'm actually doing this Amazon Masters enrollment for a limited time offer of just £195. Considering the value in this course, considering everything that it includes, including coaching calls for a limited time only, this is an incredibly valuable proposition to you. Remember Abraham Lincoln, he said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So many of us, we want to take every ounce of energy and finance we've got and throw it into a product thinking that'll make us the most successful we can be. What I'm encouraging you to do, whether it's through my program, somebody else's, or whatever training you can get a hold of, is consider investing a bit of that startup capital in some high quality, committed support and training that actually sharpens your axe, that makes you so much more successful when you do start, that initial investment is just a drop in the ocean of the profit you make. I'm confident in asking this kind of investment from you today because I know myself, having invested in 4-figure training programs in order to start this business myself, realizing that actually those programs were far less in-depth than the training I'm offering you today. Not only is it more in-depth, not only am I going to offer you a dedicated support, coaching calls, and all of the value in the bonuses beyond that, but I'm also going to be charging far less than those programs. Just £195 today will give you lifetime access into that program and access to me and my coaching and my help with you. That is a limited time offer. The price will be going up and the coaching calls on that offer will be ending soon. Also, I can only do it for so many people because I've only got so many hours in the day. But remember, Abraham Lincoln, he said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So get your axe sharp today. Invest in an interactive program that is step-by-step done for you, gives you all the training you need laid out to help you to be a success. Not only that, but what I also offer is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what that means is today you can try the Amazon Masters without any risk. You can sign up to the Amazon Masters. You can view up to 30% of the content, and if you decide it's something that's not the right fit for you, you're not enjoying it, you don't like it for whatever reason, all you need to do is reach out to me personally and I will, no questions asked, give you a full refund if it's within the 30-day time period. All right, so that's my guarantee to you. You can try it for 30 days, watch up to 30% of it, absolutely risk free, and I will honor that. That is my guarantee to you. With this program, you also get lifetime updates. I'm in the trenches with you. I'm selling on Amazon. So if things are changing, if strategies and tactics are changing, I'm going to want to know about them. I'm going to be on the forefront of them. And so I'm going to be creating content to help you adapt into this program. I sell on Amazon 6 figures every year. It's not something that I just teach, those who can't do teach. No, I do this. And so I'm going to help you by creating continual lifetime updates. And of course, you get unrivaled support in this program. Reach out to me and I will get back to you within 24 hours, Monday to Friday, at all times. I am here for your success. Finally, let me finish with this. Any FAQs, frequently asked questions that there have been about this program. Number one, is this only for UK sellers? Now, of course, I'm from the UK. I sell predominantly in the UK. I do also sell around Europe and in the USA, but predominantly this is aimed at UK sellers. In saying that, 90%, 95% of what is taught in this program is applicable to sellers all over the world. 90 to 95% of what is taught in the course is about Amazon strategies on Amazon, how to do, which is generic mostly across the world. There are some nuances that are different in some marketplaces, but on the whole, applicable to all marketplaces all over the world. There are some aspects that are UK specific in terms of setting up companies and different aspects like that, but majority of it is transferable and will, I believe, be an incredible help to you. Number two, I'm already selling on Amazon. Will it be helpful? Again, of course, I'm biased, but I would say yes. I was selling on Amazon and then I signed up to a 4-figure training program and, it really did help me go to the next level with my business, selling on Amazon, despite the fact that it was probably half as detailed of the program I'm offering you today. So I would say yes, you would find value in it and it will help you, I believe, go to that next level. Number three, can I be successful without a course? Of course you can. Of course you can be successful without a course. But again, remember that axe principle. It comes back to how quick, how efficiently, how well do you want to cut down this tree? Because if you want to be efficient, then it may be worth considering sharpening that axe that you hold in your hand. Number four, how do you contact me? I'm available via email. You will have my VIP email address to contact me at any time with any questions, and I will always get back to you within 24 hours, Monday to Friday. Do I offer guarantees? Yes, as I said before, 30 by 30 guarantee. 30% in 30 days, risk-free. You don't like it, let me know. Money back, no questions asked. All right, guys, we have made it to the end of the video. Well done you for lasting this long. I want to encourage you that your appetite for learning and growing is something that will be a great asset in building a business. I've given you a full rundown of how to start a business selling products on Amazon, how to grow it and scale it to free you up to live the life you could have dreamed of. I've talked about the Amazon Masters program, exactly what's involved in it. It's a super in-depth, over 100 videos, over 10 hours, incredible, engaging content, just £195 for a limited time only. We've gone through all of the information on that. But of course, if you do have any more questions, please get in contact with me. Don't forget the competition that is on right now. Leave a comment below in the comments and you'll be involved in the competition. Every 100 comments I'm going to give away a 30-minute coaching call, and every 100 comments I'm going to give away a Helium 10 Platinum package first month free. Prizes will be drawn each time we get to 100 comments. So yeah, make sure you are engaging in the comments below, and I would love to help you out some more for free. I'm not just here to help only those people that enroll in the Amazon Masters program. Of course, because they are paid members of that program, they will get the priority on my time, but I'd love to continue helping as many people as I possibly can for free, adding value to the community. So make sure you ask any questions, anything that you want to drill down deeper in, just ask it in the comments below. We can have a chat there. More content will be coming up in 2019. Got some really great stuff planned for you. So I will see you soon. Make sure you're subscribed, turn that notification bell on, hit my face down below, and you'll get all the good stuff there. Remember, if you want to build a business that frees you up from the grip that money places over time, this is the channel to be subscribed to, and I will see you in the next videos real soon.